Hey guys, sorry. I was thinking to myself and seeing if anybody was going to come back. If they do, they do. If they don't, I'm sorry. I'm having issues this evening with the internet. So hopefully, hopefully, we'll see. I'll give it a couple minutes. If nobody shows up, I'm just going to go ahead and shut it down and delete this one. So, which is probably what I'll do with the last couple that I just did that didn't work out very well. But hopefully, this will work a little bit better. Morgan, I'm here to contact you about your car's extended warranty. Well, thank you, but my car doesn't have a warranty. I'm sorry. Nope, it doesn't. That's why I got full coverage insurance. Yeah. All right. So we had two on here. We got one. So, which is good. It's just you, me, and you then, Morgan. So, how's your day been so far? Your mom's left armpit hair, the names you come up with. Funny, funny, funny. Oh, you didn't get to watch Netflix either? How come? Why not? I'm gonna have to get one of them. I don't know what you call it, Morgan. You might know what it's called. It's one of them cords that go from the router to your computer, and one end looks like a big, oh, maybe you don't know, a big jack for a home telephone, but it's bigger. Kind of like an HDMI cord, but different, if you know what I mean. Aww. So next time you're in Missouri, you can just bring her my way. Nugget. That's cute. My cat Nugget. Does he look like a chicken nugget? A chicken nugget? Oops. Oopsie poopsie. She bites my toe. That's cute. Dawn, if anyone was to have bad luck, it sure in the world would be me. Never fails. Never fails. Like I said, if it was going to be anybody in this group, it would be me. Oh, okay. So I don't know if my mom's going to get back on here or not. People are going to see this and be like, man, this girl is like, oh, big time amateur. We're not going back to there. Good idea. That's a good idea, Morgan. Good idea. New idea. So I can see people watching currently. So when everyone is here and somebody isn't talking, I can call them out. Morgan, not that hard to call out people on my channel. Just got to remember a few names. That's it. Thank you, Dawn, for still being here. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. I was trying to see if my mom was going to come back. I don't got school, so I'm free all night, she says. Not me. I wonder if it was raining when I went outside earlier to take the dogs out. So it might still be kind of a mess outside. That might be why I'm having such a hard time too this evening. Because I don't ever remember it being quite this bad, guys. I feel bad. I have you guys come here so we can, do something, and I end up having issues. So, yep. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Morgan. It's been raining here maybe 3/4 of the day today. So, and at times it comes heavy, and there was some really, really dark clouds out there. So it probably still is, and I'm sure that that's having a factor on it too. It seems like somebody could piss down the road and it affects my internet. So if you're around my area, please don't piss in the wind because you're going to screw up my internet. Got me to smoking all this stuff. Okay, so again, guys, I am really sorry that this happened. Um, I really wanted to show some videos this evening and go over a few things in regards to the Summer Wells case. Um, I have one with the cords. I don't have a wireless router. So, hey, Dawn, tell John I am so sorry. Okay. Yeah, mine has cords on my router. But I have to get that cord that I have to plug into my laptop that goes into the router. So, see, this is doing so much better. So, but I do see my Wi-Fi signal going up and down. So, does everything still look okay on you guys' end? Or on my end anyway? Let me know how what you guys if it looks okay and you guys can hear me okay. Hey Morgan, my router is literally right here, right down there underneath this little shelf. That's how close I am to it. So, okay, look okay and hear you okay. Okay, good. Okay. Good, good, good. Let me tell Dawn to please tell John. I'm sorry. Okay. So we have the lab is live right now. We can go, I can pull up him and we can watch him. AB is live too. Yeah, I'm gonna buy you better internet. Thanks, Morgan. Like I said, something needs to happen around here with this internet because it's really horrible. I don't care. HughesNet throws out all these really nice commercials about how good they are and they're number one this, they're number one that. They're number one pieces of crap. That's what it is. And it's driving me insane. Insane. So, I mean, it's up to you guys what you want to, or I can do the interview room too. So, just let me know which one. It does suck. This is when I still live. I wish I still lived in the city because I had AT&T and I've never had this problem. But then again, I never did go live either back then. I didn't do anything like this. So, anyway, woohoo. With that being said, so what do you guys want to see? The interview room? Okay, let's go and see. Boom, 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 boom. The interview room. And we're going to the critical time frame. The 40 minutes. So let's go here. Go here. Here. Critical time frame. Okay, Morgan. Okay. Okay, so what I am going to do real fast is let me take the banner off, because if Dawn's still here, I did put closed captioning on so that she could read it. So I just want to make it a little bit easier for her, just so you guys know. So Can you do caps and sound at the same time? What do you mean caps and sound? I'm going to move this forward a little bit. Well, no, because I'm not sure where it starts. Oh, wait. Did I not? Okay, let me do something. Thank you. I forgot to share audio.
For the moment,
is that better?
that came about because of Summer, and just as a reminder, she came forward the day after Summer disappeared, and she's told us in private that she could only think about, her experience, and then could kind of, wanted to maybe think about, could that be possibly happening to Summer, and if so, she wanted to intervene immediately. So, Godspeed to her. She's going to come on again. She's pressing forward, and she keeps sending us messages that more women in her circle, that that kind of situation, and others. There are a total of 6 women now.
Is that including Jeannie?
Yes.
6?
Yeah. Yes. That's a great point. Yes. So there are 5 other women that have come forward. Total of 6 now with Jeannie. So these are brave women, and we're just so proud of her. We're proud of each of you who also had been victimized, and we hope that Jeannie gives you the courage to also find your inner strength when your timing is right to come forward. So let's talk about the 40 minutes, right? So last week I threw a curveball to the atmosphere out here, the YouTube, okay? And I put 40 minutes on the thumbnail because I knew that other people would be monitoring the channel. And immediately, as you could tell, certain people did a show where they were trying to guess about what that 40 minutes stood for. Okay. And there was all kinds of things. So this again goes back to this idea of, adapting and improvising in relationship to information that's presented here, on this platform, as well as many others. Okay. Well, it worked like a charm. Okay? And unfortunately, they were in left field, which proved the other point. Okay. The 40 minutes that I'm going to talk to tonight, and Karen and I are going to share some information. It goes from 6:23 to about 7:03 p.m. Okay, go ahead.
Let's set it. What day? Let's get the date.
June 15th, 2021.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The day Summer was reported missing.
The day Summer was reported missing. Now, there are all kinds of things that I've been looking at behind the scenes, and I pay attention to obviously, some of the social media stuff. There's an old saying that says, if there's another circus in town, okay, those are somebody else's clowns. Okay. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I don't have time for it. I am literally trying to help find Summer, as well as other cases that we're working on in terms of helping families behind the scenes. That's what we're doing. And so tonight there's a couple of things I want to go over. I'm going to go back to the TOC, the time of call, the 911 call. Okay. And then I'm also going to go to the time of arrival. Okay. And the time of arrival for one of the first SAR unit, search and rescue guys. Okay. They got up there right around 7:03. So that is approximately 40 some ish minutes. Okay. In that time, okay, is a critical piece of I think information. Okay. And that is the behavior of all the parties at that time. Okay. So in order for some of to just kind of do a level set here tonight, I want to show a couple of things here. The first I want to tell you is I've been taking very careful look at some of the photographs that have been floating around for quite some time. And I've had this, kind of setting here. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, remember.
Okay, guys, one thing I do want to say before he gets into showing these pictures is this could be a trigger warning, or I'm giving you a trigger warning, because some of these pictures are not going to be very pretty and not going to have good detail to them. So if you need to look away, please do.
There are three theories, right? The abduction theory, the accident theory, and then of course the third theory is, does she just randomly walk away? Okay. Well, the abduction theory, in my opinion, on YouTube is getting beat. All kinds of great ideas, people coming in, a lot of speculation, a lot of various suspects, subjects, persons of interest. But I go back to the Sheriff Lawson, where he says everybody is a person of interest, okay, until Summer is found. Okay, and that's not his paraphrase or a quote from him, but that's pretty close to what he's saying and what TBI is holding close to the vest. So at this juncture in the investigation, during the investigation phase, a lot of this intelligence, forensic information is starting to come back in. Now, one of the tools they, Dawn and Candace and her mom, all of their phones were taken. Okay. Well, what happens is they put them into what they call a UFED, okay? And it's a device that you just basically plug in, and it dumps all the electronic information into basically a software program that can spread right down to metadata into the exact second, the exact moment of where this picture and or conversation was taking place. Okay? It also helps triangulate in relationship to phones moving or not moving. Okay? And of course, we saw some of this coming out now from the cellular team from the FBI during the Barry Morphew case, where they were able to tell specifically time of day the door was open in vehicles, as well as when his phone was put on certain modes, and so that type of evidence can be recovered. Okay? That type of evidence, you get a search warrant, you hand it to Mr. Google, Mr. YouTube, Mr. whoever, okay, and their legal and compliance department has a certain amount of time to deliver that information. Once that information comes back, then if there's ever an arrest, then that becomes what obviously, what they call Brady evidence. And so any law enforcement officer with notes or anything that I have uploaded as an example to TBI would become Brady evidence. And all of that evidence would be turned over to the defense, okay, for them to prepare for their trial. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go back to around the 29th. Okay. So around the 29th is when Candace decided to change her name from Jess Wells to Bly. So she went from Candace Wells pre-summer missing to Candace Bly Wells post-summer missing. Okay. Now, I know the timeline, or at least I have a pretty good idea of what the...
So in regards to her change in name, do you think that that is significant in any way? Do you guys find her changing her name like 15 days after Summer went missing significant or not? Okay. Thank you, Morgan. Yeah, it is shady. But do you think it's something significant? I mean, is it something? See, that's something we don't know. Is it possible that on certain situations she used one name and other situations she would use another last name? I mean, some people do that. Some will be like, strange that she did that. Why not a year ago? Well, she was going by Candace Wells. Now all of a sudden it's Candace Bly. So she decided to ditch her married name and go with, I guess her maiden name is Bly is her maiden name. So I agree. Why now? But yeah. That is kind of different. I don't know. It is suspicious, and you got to wonder, and what significance does it have in this case? I mean, it's not going to keep her from getting busted in any way. So, because they know who she is, whether she's a Bly or a Wells Bly or a Bly Wells, however she decides to say it. Yeah, she was, yeah, yes. Bly is her maiden name. Okay. See, I thought that's what it was because Grandma's is Hair. But I don't know how that worked out either. Okay, so we will get back to the interview room and see what they say next.
Timeline is for some of that day, not all of that day. Okay? But I know for a fact around 1:33 is when they were in the store getting the prescription. Okay, there's no question that is an accurate time frame. Okay, so from there, the question is, do they pick up the prescription at 2:03, or are they picking up the prescription at 1:33? I don't have that information. Okay, so that's the first another additional 30 minutes that I was going to kind of encompass into 40 and 30, but we're not going to get there yet because there's actually going to be about a 3-hour gap. No matter how you look at it, and there is a really good video. A guy put together a timeline in relationship to trying to put them in either away from the house or at the house. Okay. And no matter how you do it, there is a gap of at least a couple of hours. Okay. So that said, I am not convinced that Don did not go to work that day. Okay, personally. Okay. I'm just talking here.
I know. So tell us more about that, because that is, we've heard everything under the sun. Nobody really knows at this point. Tell us why it's critical. Just let's go over this again. Why is that a critical piece in this?
Okay, so if we take a look at the let's use the abduction theory, and thank you, AB. I see you up there, brother. It's good to see you. Let's just take a look at the abduction theory. Okay. Now, by the way, that's still, is it possible still? In my opinion, yes, it could be. Okay. Probable? No. Okay. That's probably not the totality of what took place. Okay. So let's just use that as an example. Well, first of all, if that piece of property, because of its remoteness, okay, and the fact that, you know, that day, and we've talked about this at length, there has to be a familiarity with that piece of property, with the suspect. If you're to do a suspectology, okay, on a random abduction, the statistics just don't show that folks go up that type of terrain. Now, we have the other situation down, you know, not far from there, right, where the guy walked into the house, but the boy was out cutting the lawn. He was 12 years old. Okay. So number one, the victimology there is completely opposite of what Summer is. So if Summer has been taken statistically for sexual deviant behavior or SA deviant behavior, okay, then statistically the type of individual that would take that kind of risk, okay, knows that they would have to be familiar and very comfortable with their surroundings, because they're actually putting themselves more at risk than the victim being taken off of that property. Because, you know, if you think about it, if you've got mom there, you've got grandma there, you've got the three boys there, and if Don is at work, then you have his truck there. Okay, so these are factors that have to be weighed extremely heavily. They have to be taken into consideration. Okay? So you take that abduction theory and then you say, okay, what evidence do we have that points to this? Okay, well, we've got a guy who, you know, whose name has come up, and, you know, I'm not going to use it, but, you know, he's hanging out on the property, i.e. he's buying a new house or thereabouts across. You've got this witness who hears somebody, you know, scream. You know, I haven't heard anybody say it was Summer. I've heard somebody say that there was a witness that heard it. Okay. Well, that's TBI's problem. Let them sort through that. Okay. And then you have, you know, this idea of a red truck in the driveway. Okay. And then you have TBI and the sheriff's department saying, well, right now we think they're a witness, so we want to interview anybody driving that red Toyota Tacoma with the racks and the buckets in the back. Okay. And then you have the individual that used to work with Don, who he fired the day before, who is just kind of crack-a-lacking, okay, for lack of a better term. Okay. And so from there, you have all of those dynamics. That guy somehow has to get to the property that day. Okay. without being seen. Okay? And now you've got to put the thought process in, well, Don's truck is at the property that day. So if Don's truck is there that day, and this guy just got fired by Don the day before, and he's got this vengeance against him, okay, well, my question is, does he see the truck? Because Don's got the Subaru at work. Okay? So that dynamic in of itself creates a real problem. Okay? So if he's on the other side of the property coming up through that dog trail, and then now this person has to find the door. Okay? And the question then is this person going in that door, i.e., to steal a child? Well, now you have Mom, Candace, who says all doors and windows are locked. Nobody in, nobody out.
And that is exactly what she said too. Exactly what she said. Nobody in, nobody out while them boys were upstairs. And I have to agree. Okay, so if you were fired by someone and you were so angry at them, you know, do you go to their house with their car there? 2 adults, 3 other children, and older children, not a 5-year-old, but a 12-year-old. I think it was 12, 11, and 10 maybe. So, yeah. So, very, very strange. So, and you know what? For them to say that Chris has twisted their words, all of this is coming out of their mouth. It's only being repeated what was said. So, it's not that. So, we're going to get back to Chris and his wife.
So that door becomes a big question mark. Okay. It becomes a question mark. Okay. So let's hear, D-Man, let's put up the interview on the news. And I want to go over a couple of points that I think are very, very, very important to recognize within a couple of days of Summer missing. Okay, go ahead.
She's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. That my biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something.
Okay, let's stop.
She loved.
Okay, so Don's projection of where Summer potentially could be is in a dungeon somewhere, locked in. Okay. Now, it's interesting in this video, the news clip, if you go back and watch it again, you're going to see one of the TBI or one of the investigators walk into the background in the lower right-hand corner during the news. So the PD is there searching for Summer. Okay, and you can see them walk past. I don't know if I pulled that clip enough. And this is from the local news station down there, WJBH, I think it's the name of the station. But so Don is aware right now while talking that the authorities around him are searching for her. And that's why he goes in to apologize, okay, about how hard they're having to work, because in his mind, they have told him, or he has told them from day one, okay, that you're not going to find her here. He's picturing her in a dungeon somewhere,
he is.
Potentially locked down to where she cannot see her puppy and the rest of her family. Karen, what do you think about that? Just from your perspective.
Yeah, that jumped out at me immediately, especially as a former crime reporter, to hear parent just a few days into the disappearance investigation come to such a dire conclusion. I mean, I think it set everybody back listening to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I walked in there, he was right. It is a dungeon. Okay. I mean, I was there and it was dark. Okay. And it was unfortunate that, you know, a child, and quite frankly, the parents on the other side, I mean, they're in those conditions as well. Okay. Now I'm not judging them in relationship to, you know, what they're doing there. Okay. What I'm saying is, you know, we all have control over our environment, our situation, our circumstance. Okay. And sometimes there are other mitigating factors that get involved that eliminate those types of good decisions being made, and show that, you know, a child has the right comforts and right safety for being in those types of environments. Okay. So let's keep going. D-Man, please.
She loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's some? Go get some now." You know.
Yep. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. I want to make sure people can hear me. Is that mic's so far away? What did you think when Don just said, unfortunately, that was Summer's downfall?
Yeah. Yeah. He shifted the blame to Summer, that part of this could be on her as a result of, going outside. Now, and now that's an interesting dynamic, right? Because you have, parents who say, she's pure country. She's a country girl. She loves the rain. She loves to play outside. She loves to, chase the motorcycles. Okay. And now that she's gone, that's seen as a weakness in Summer's personality. Okay. It's as if, okay, he's processing maybe, the did she walk away theory. Okay. I don't know where he's at in his head there, and I'm not going to guess, but I find it interesting that he, made that description for her, and that was a good catch. Okay, let's keep going, Dale. We're almost done with this piece.
And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out, and she would always close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. She loved to be outside. Yep. And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, blocked away where she can't be outside.
Okay, so now he has just introduced the third theory a couple of days later, that she just walked away. Okay, he's concerned that she just walked away. Okay, so that's her downfall. Okay? That she just walked away. Okay, but then he fills in those gaps with, thanking all the searchers and all the amazing hard work that's been done up to that point. Okay, so go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt you. I don't know if he's thanking them as much as he apologized for having them search. If you listen to that again, and that struck me as kind of interesting.
Okay, say that again. What do you mean?
When there's a part of the interview where he is almost apologizing. I'm sorry that you had to go through the brush and, do all this hard physical activity looking for Summer, but it came off as an apology statement.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
It jumped out to me. So.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, keep playing, Dill.
Or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and it's that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity.
Okay,
I just want to focus on.
Stop right there. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Don said she's dead, or is she, could she be dead? He brings up death, and look at Candace's reaction.
But it's a possibility. I don't.
Watch this. Yeah, play it again, Dill.
I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity. I just want to focus on the positive because it's so easy to get, lost.
Did you hear what Candace said? She looks over at him in shock. That would be like me looking at my wife going, what? Okay. And what does she say? I want to find my daughter. Okay. Guys and gals, that's a huge red flag. That's a huge red flag. Okay. Because that day, within a couple of days, those two, okay, were not on the same sheet of paper. They were not working in conjunction with this story. It wasn't flowing correctly. And we're going to get to that 40 minutes, okay, and we're going to talk a little bit deeper about that stuff. Okay? Because these are kind of things that just started clicking from that day forward. Candace was thinking one thing, Don's thinking another. Okay? Now, what they're not thinking about, okay, is could Summer be alive? What Don is suggesting is the possibility within a day or so, okay, a few days, that Summer's already gone. And that's interesting because he utilizes the thought process of get gone. Summer, get gone. Okay. Well, maybe she is gone. Okay. And so let's kind of think about how that could be. So, Dill, let's go to the photographs. All right. Now, a lot of speculation, a lot of conversation all over YouTube about these types of photos in the back seat. Okay. Could that be a subdural hematoma, i.e. a bleeding just underneath, near the scalp? Okay. I'm not a medical doctor, nor am I an ME. Okay. But is that shading? Is it bruising? Is it a subdural? It's interesting. Let's just say that it's interesting. Let's go to the next one. This one is really alarming because you can clearly, it appears, unless somebody has mocked this photo up, okay, and God forbid if you did that to this little girl, in terms of somebody mock this photo up. Okay. Shame on you if you did. If you didn't, then this is a very alarming photograph, because if you look in the upper right temple area, that is the same area that we see potentially in the car. Okay, let's go to the next one. That I do not know if this is also somebody was playing games on the internet. If it is, okay, that's horrible. If it isn't, it's horrible. Next. If you look on the left or facing you, the right cheek area, okay, I've seen that before. Okay. That could be a slap. And children, as we all know, will bruise very, very quickly. Okay. I hope it's not photoshopped. If it is, shame on you for doing that. And you should get off of YouTube, whoever did it. Okay. This is about a 5-year-old little girl. Okay. Next. Here you see the same picture from a different angle. Now, if this is a Photoshop, they went through a lot of work to get every one of these photos lined up. Okay. So we're just going to let that sit. I think that's the last one, right, Dill? And there are many others. Okay. But those are very potentially alarming towards a non-abduction theory, an accident theory for me. If it's an accident theory, then those pictures could play a role. I went down that stairwell, and if, you know, Summer had gone down that stairwell, could she have fallen? In my opinion, the answer is yes. Could she have been injured? The answer is yes. Could other things have been taking place then post that fall? Perhaps. Okay. And so what I need to do, what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and I've got a bunch of my notes here that I've been holding for a long time. Okay. We're going to go back to the water hole for a minute. Okay. And one of the statements that has always struck me is that between, you know, Candace and when Hunter called, okay, when Candace was at her mother's appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning that day, right? Remember, Don reports that he leaves for work, okay, and Candace goes and takes her mom, leaves the boys at home, nobody in, nobody out, okay, and takes Summer and her mom, okay. But Candace says that, you know, they were just going to run a short, you know, trip type of situation. Well, first of all, you know, that's a good 25, 30-minute drive, you know, just to get into town. Okay. So that's a 1 hour gap now, okay, with the 3 boys at home. Now they're old enough, you know, the oldest one, he's 13.
He's 12.
He's 12.
But close to 13. Okay.
So, you know, I've seen parents do that. Okay. Not uncommon, right? So, you know, let's take a look at that and say, okay, maybe they, you know, as Candace said, they were, you know, half sleeping, half watching TV kind of thing. But she made sure, you know, that they were secured. Okay. That's a good thing. Okay. For her, for mom. Okay. Make sure that they were locked in. Now, when she gets to the hospital, this is when the timeline just starts going, you know, crazy here, because if Hunter calls her at 8 in the morning and says, "What are you doing?" Okay. Now, one of the things that I picked up on is Candace left her mom at the hospital and took Summer over to Allie's house, allegedly to connect with Hunter. Okay. Now, I don't think everybody caught that piece of the puzzle, because I think everybody was thinking that Candy went with them, okay, i.e. mom. Well, not according to Candace. What do you want to say?
No, keep going. I'm listening.
Okay. All right. So let's rewind for a moment and go back to the water hole. And I'm going to walk through a couple of things that I noticed a while ago. It's kind of weird because I have to play it off of my channel. Sorry, I apologize. But let's go ahead and play that, Dylan. And we're going to do a go stop. And I'm going to walk through this because this is going to get, there are some subtleties in here that I've had, and I've been holding on to them, and now is the time. Go ahead.
Where was Summer sitting?
She was sitting in the middle seat.
Okay.
It was sitting on the air.
Okay.
And my mom said, hold on a minute, so we waited for my mom to get out.
Okay.
And Hunter, he just done disappeared into the woods. My mom and Summer walked over there, and we were just letting Summer play, and then Hunter eventually come back out of the woods wherever he was.
Okay, so let's stop.
And
why is this important? Okay. Well, because Candace had to go get Hunter and come back to the hospital and pick up Grandma. Because she just said all three of them got out of the car. Okay. So that could be true. But what she didn't tell us, and what we don't know, is her going back to pick up Grandma. Okay. So once she did, and this is when they went to get the prescription, okay, and dropped it off. Okay. And we know that time frame was around 1:33. Okay. But she left at 8 in the morning and she's at the hospital. Okay. Everybody tracking me here? Let me see in the chat what you're thinking. Okay. Let's see what you're thinking. Honey, what are you thinking?
It's a very large time gap if you think about it. From when she left, from when Candace would have left Hunter's house with Hunter to go back to the hospital, which is not too far. It's probably, what, 10 minutes from Hunter's home?
Yeah.
But if she didn't drop off the prescription till 1:30, there's a big time gap there.
Yeah, that's a huge time gap. So there's a big space here. Okay. There's a big space here that somehow, you know, it keeps getting filled with, you know, we went to, you know, Hippies. Yes, they did. I verified that. I was in the store, talked to the clerk. Okay. They went to Sonic. We were at Sonic. Okay. They went to the grocery store. Okay. But this is all after they get the prescription. They've left the water hole. Okay. But I wanted to look at this from 8 o'clock where she's at the hospital and Hunter calls. Okay. Now she's going to say here, okay, that Hunter called her. Okay. And she talks about that the plan was, you know, was not to be with Hunter all that day. That was not the plan. Okay. Somehow either she interjected Hunter or Hunter interjected himself into this play that day. Okay. So keep playing, Dill.
So let's walk over there. Show me. And I'll just follow you, okay? So I'll follow you on which direction. And
everything's slow motion now.
I know.
Okay, let's stop. We're not. Yeah, keep going.
Right there.
Go past that if you
can. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear when I heard?
Sorry. So she talked about how everything slowed down, right? And everything became slow motion. Okay? Well, obviously in traumatic experiences, that's a true statement. Okay, which in my opinion, what she just said there, it's a very true statement. Okay. She got through, you know, this process of her going back down that path again. Okay. So I think she's telling the truth there. And the reason why you're seeing twice there is, unfortunately, I have to play it from my channel. I didn't upload the stock. Okay. So she gets down there, and tell me when you're ready, Dill. Go ahead. Yeah, could be shock. That's right, Emily. Innocence or not, that's correct. I agree. Well, this is teeing up. Okay, right there.
Okay. Okay.
Then all how she gets too hot.
Okay. And what was the temperature that day? Give me an idea.
Probably in the 80s.
Okay. So it's Tennessee warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it is now.
And are you an air conditioned person, or in your mom's truck was the AC on or
I
off?
don't like AC.
Okay. Okay. So what happened? Where do you guys go, and where's Summer going?
We all walked down the path, me, my mom, and Summer.
All right. So all three of you together.
Yeah.
Now, how does Mom's knee handle this hill here?
Well, she uses her cane, so it's a little bit easier, and she'll hold on to my shoulder so
Okay.
she doesn't fall or nothing.
So you're kind of escorting her down here.
Yeah.
And is Summer ahead of you or behind
She's
you?
right here in front of me.
Okay. So walk me through that.
Oh, we're just walking down through here. I mean, usually, like I said, we go slow because of my mom's knee.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I was just standing here at the end, and then, well, the water's up a lot further than it usually is. Usually it's down. You can usually see all that wood sticking up all the water.
Okay, so let's stop there for a minute.
Stop there. And
so that is a memory of the event. We can get past that, Dill.
To her immediately.
So while he's doing that, so we've got a couple of things happen here. Right when she gets out of the car, as you remember, she said that Hunter goes into the woods. Okay. And then he reappears out of the woods when Summer was already in the water. Okay. And she and her mom are looking at the flowers, talking about flowers, and that type of stuff. Okay. And so she also talks about the idea that, Hunter was not part of the plan that day. Remember, and they keep talking about this water park plan. Okay. And Hunter was kind of confusing in that when I first talked to him. Hunter said, yeah, well, we were going to go to the water park, but that kind of all changed because of a PO. And he told me off camera, that obviously was a probation officer for somebody or something. I didn't dig into it. It wasn't my interest at that point. Okay. But I categorized it and cataloged it. Okay. So the water park scenario seemed to be the more likely scenario in Hunter's conversation. And then, maybe he had that conversation with her when he calls her at 8. Okay. But from 8 in the morning, going back to that for a second, okay, at 8 in the morning, she's at the hospital. Hunter calls her. Hunter said she called him. Okay, so they've got this going. Okay, he said, she said. Either way, somebody gets a call, and that's going to be in the timeline. Okay, she goes over there, and she picks him up, and somehow goes back to the hospital. I think with Hunter and Summer, or maybe not at this point. Maybe Candace is getting, seen and looked at by a doctor. That's one piece of this puzzle that we don't know about yet. And how long does that take, right? How long does that take where grandma's getting checked out for her knee with a, standing doctor's appointment? And at the end of that doctor's appointment, okay, then, that's when she gets the prescription. What I think has been missing, at least from my thought process, okay, is there's that gap there when she's at the doctor's appointment with her mom. And then all of a sudden this story goes fast forward to the water hole. Okay. Thoughts?
Hunter and Allie said approximately, I think they may have gave 2 different times of when Hunter got picked up by Candace that day. It wasn't 8 a.m. I mean, we'd have to go back and look. I think it was more like around 10. And
that's when she went back.
Right.
But she says she was there at 8 because she took her mom 8 o'clock to the hospital.
Right.
Okay. So go ahead, finish your
Right.
thought.
No, there's still a gap. Even once she's at the hospital, leaves the hospital, goes to Hunter's house, gets Hunter, and either goes back and gets Grandma, or Grandma's with her, and then from there they make their stops and go to the swimming hole.
Okay.
But there's still a pretty big chunk of time that nobody can remember as far as what they shared, and there's conflicting statements there.
Okay, so we've got 10:30, right? Hunter saying we left at 10:30. Okay. But and Ariel, I see your note here. Okay. So if that's the case, and I've thought about this as well, like everybody else here, right? What were they doing for that 2 hours or thereabout time frame? Okay. You know, what's going on when Candace makes it over to the house to pick up Hunter? I don't think that Grandma's with her. I think she's there with Hunter, with Summer, and this is why the clothing, changing the clothing, you know, is kind of off. Does that make sense?
Right, because Hunter said that Candace took Summer in the house and changed her into his house. Whether or not that's reality,
right,
we don't know.
Right, and then we can add the phone call, right, with Hunter saying, yeah, you know, they were in the drive-through, and Dawn calls, okay, and that kind of, you know, threw Candace for a curveball when she started to question that. Okay, so let's keep playing this still, and when I start talking, if you can just kind of move the line over, get past where I'm commenting on the other video, that'd be great, pal. Thank you.
If you remember.
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you. Time is. I don't keep track of time.
No,
See, stop right there.
In the morning, I do my thing with.
Okay, see, that's the problem here, right? She's not keeping track of time. Okay, so now that's just, you know, maybe how Candace is, and you know, she came across very believable in some things for me. You know, when I was talking to her, she's very cooperative. You know, but there are these huge gaps of, you know, it seems to be focused around time and or events that are going to be uncomfortable. We hear from Don. Every time you ask him an uncomfortable question, he responds with, well, I don't remember, or, you know, it's kind of like he's doing the curly shuffle around that. Okay. Well, you know, that's a learned behavior of, you know, manipulating the truth for many, many years. And we learned that. And that's why it was so important to learn about Jeannie. Okay. And to have all of that stuff come to the surface, because for 37 years, this guy's been, you know, working around the idea that, you know, he was SA with a 5-year-old at 12 years old, upskilled at making you think what his reality is by telling you over and over and over again, and then adding the adage, well, I'm not really sure, I forget, you know, those types of gap fillers, I'll call them. Okay. And Candace plays that route here. And listen, go ahead.
Thing with the kids, and then we go to bed.
Okay.
I can't even tell you. I know I went to the hospital at 8, took my mom, dropped her off. I was sitting there, and Hunter called me and asked me what I was doing. I said I was sitting at the hospital in the parking lot waiting on my mom to get done. And he said, well, why don't y'all come over? I said, well, as long as your mom says it's okay. And I guess he woke her up or said something to her, and he said, yeah, she said it's fine for a little bit because he gets his mouth from her with something she don't like. I don't like her either.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, seems like you guys have had a falling out. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And
It's stupid part on Al, really, honestly.
what was it over?
Well, her, I don't know if it was her husband. I'm just going to say Hunter's daddy. Come out with all these guys and stuff and was supposed to move down there. And they couldn't find a place to stay or whatever. Well, I don't really remember what this guy's name was. I know he's a Mexican, I think. And she
That Jose guy?
yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, she wanted him to stay. And she was also staying at my house.
Okay, stop
So I
right
said,
there.
well, if you
So one other thing I think we pick up here is that this Jose guy and Allie were also at Candace's house. Okay. And that's interesting in of itself. I don't know if is this the night with, the big fight.
All right, guys. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to do a part 2. Since my stream didn't work out very well earlier and I didn't get to do what I wanted to completely do because I had this little girl too that I wanted to investigate as well. What we'll do is we're going to have to do a part 2. So I will schedule that and put it in in the next 12 hours. I will put it in and let you guys know when, and we'll finish off, or we'll start where we just finished off. And then, or we can have a conversation about what we've already seen and then start where we left off and then have that conversation as well. So guys, I appreciate you sticking around and sticking it out with me. Sorry that I didn't get to do the panel thing. Hopefully the next time I do it, it will be better to do the panel. Hopefully things will go a hell of a lot smoother. But as of right now, it's going on 12:30. I am beat. Yeah, could. Or maybe Saturday night. We could do a live Saturday night. Are you guys coming down this weekend? Guys, I am so whooped. Being so frustrated earlier has completely drained me really quick. Dawn, I will let you guys know. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And I just want to say good night, guys. I will see you all very soon, okay? Very soon.